Rusty Dusty Picker channel back on here, and we're going to take on a project here. We'll be most familiar with South Shore of Long Island people, but of course hopefully a little bit enjoyable for anybody who's watching. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to kind of replicate a Robert Moses Causeway Parkway sign sort of a thing, and incorporate a couple of different types of I'm going to have an acrylic lighthouse I'm going to attach in here, and I'm going to have it say Robert Moses, and instead of Causeway I'm going to put B Causeway, just to be different. And since the beaches will be opening up finally after all this time, I just figured I'd throw something out there that might be extremely different, to say the least, extremely different than anything that exists out there. So everything's one of a kind in the Rusty Dusty Picker channel, so this is no exception. This is just a piece of wood I cut in half. We don't use a lot of raw wood around here, but when I can come across it, I'll pick it up. I have sanded the edges nicely so it's friendly on the hands. I say that all the time, but I think it's important to finish a piece, you know, even before you start it. It's just nice to work with, nice for the end user to have in their hands. So quickly, I'm going to stain this piece with this. You may have seen this before on the channel, but this isn't just an old can of wood stain that's a gray. And we're gonna stain this piece of wood here. And so we'll have the familiar dark lettering of the signage you'll see on the parkways here in New York. And see what the heck we can make out of that. And frankly, this is a piece I may even give away locally, just to I don't know, just for a little bit of awareness, and also maybe somebody who's excited to get a start on the late spring, summer here, hitting the beach, or memories of the beach, or their beach house, or a family member who they knew used to like the beach. I'm thinking about just giving it away on Facebook, you know. And it's not, you know, we're not curing cancer here. We're making things, and you know, a little exposure on Facebook that never hurts when you have a channel. This channel isn't monetized. We're not making any money off of it. But at the same time, you know, getting the word out is worthwhile as well. So it keeps you going, keeps you motivated, and you know, these are not so time consuming that it's a waste of my time yet. Nor should it ever be. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to apply a pretty good dose of this stain, and then let it dry, and we'll come back and we can really start playing around with this piece. I'm going to wipe some of the stain off of these knots here before it dries too much. Try to maintain a lot of the character of the wood if I can. You know, I'm nuts about maintaining rusty hardware on wood. I'm also, and I'm sure I'm not alone in it. Excuse me. In trying to maintain the characteristics of the piece of wood that you're working on. So I'll just do a little dusting like that, just to keep those. As you can see, just to keep character in the piece without completely changing it. So let's let that dry. and we'll be back. So far, so good. Okay, let's go. So we're going to make this Robert Moses Causeway sign. It's something that's familiar to people here on Long Island, how they mark their signs for the parkways. You know, but you can follow along if you're not from around here and it doesn't ring a bell. We'll see what we can come up with. So now it's 51 degrees here in the shop, so there will definitely be sniffling. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is do the RM. I made the stencil with a box cutter. So the sign part is going to be over here, and then I'm going to put something here that I've picked up at a garage sale somewhere. I'm not sure what yet, but I do have some nautical type of stuff. So let me do this. It'll be RM, and then I'll have a lighthouse here. I'm probably going to use one of my acrylic ones that I hand make. Kind of give it some variety. It's not supposed to match the exact sign. That would be no fun. So let me get started. I have to insert this little doohickey. You know, when you hand make stencils of certain of these letters, you lose the like an O, in this case an R, when you have an internal piece. So you have to save that. So now you have your stencil. So let me get a little black. And quickly get involved here. So just to repeat, the RM stands for Robert Moses, which is it's a parkway, but they call it a causeway. And I'm going to do something a little bit silly with that. Why not? And you know, the other state parkways have different abbreviations, and often a different. I don't know if they all have a lighthouse. I'm zoning out on that. Are they all lighthouses? I don't know. But anyway, just vamping here until I can get these letters done and move on. Okay, so there's our RM right there. Pop this guy off. See ya. Alright, so that's step one, is that right there. And we'll build from there. Alright, so now let's get a lighthouse on here. You've seen in another video of mine how I make these lighthouses on this piece of acrylic. I've drilled holes. I'm just removing the protective layer on the back. Gonna place it right about here. Okay. We're screwing just until it makes contact. Don't want to be a hero when you're playing around with acrylic. Okay, so there's the lighthouse. Okay, so the next thing I just did real quickly is I took a Sharpie and I kind of sketched out the rest of the design on the bottom of these signs that they make. So all I'm going to do now is kind of hand paint and fill that in as carefully as I can. So sort of a dicey situation, but we'll see what happens. Definitely will be sealing this sign to protect the paint, because it comes right off of the acrylic even when it's dry. Just a little fingernail will loosen it right up, flake it off. Flake off. All right. It's kind of fun sometimes working with different materials. You know, you got the you got the metal of the screws with the acrylic of the lighthouse, and then you have the wood sign. And you have paint, and what do you know, a Sharpie makes an appearance. Don't see that a lot around here. So, all right, I'll finish this. I'll finish this off camera, and then we'll come back. All right, just to show you what I'm doing now, I'm adding some pinstriping, which is part and parcel of what these signs look like. So I'm just taking my time doing it. I figured I'd show you, how it's taped off, and I'm using the wrong brush that I would usually use for this, but that's fine. It was already dirty, so I just tap, tap, tap. And I'll finish it up all the way around, and we will move on. Alrighty, so I guess the kicker with this sign is that I'm going to just simply use one word, and it's going to be obviously a take on Causeway, and it's going to be Causeway. Starting with B-E, a completely fictitious word, but it's kind of what I want to do, so we're going to do it. So I'll get that started here. I'm going to try to space it out, probably go just beyond here, and hopefully end up somewhere that makes some sort of rational sense. But, it's supposed to look rough. It's not supposed to be on point or out of a computer. The corners on I really should have rounded them, but it's not that big of a deal. Really, I mean, seriously, what are we doing here? It's Causeway. We'll deal with it. Just Causeway. Just because it's time, to say the least, to get back on the Causeway. That's really the whole point of this project. So there's the B. Let me move ahead, and I'll come back before I finish the lettering. All right, getting there. One more letter. Get the Y in here. Just like so. Keep as much paint off the brush as you can, if that makes sense. It's just You can always add. It's very hard to repair once you've made a mess. So that, folks, is a Causeway. How about them apples? All right, let's think now on what we're going to do with this space over here. I do have some stuff, rusty dusty stuff that I've picked up along the way. Let's see what's going to make the cut. Okay, good. So let's play around. Everything should be dried by now. I'm thinking about, believe it or not, this cast iron or forged piece of steel fish hook thing, which is cool, and combining that maybe with some netting, garage sale find kind of throwaway deal, and kind of attach that something like that. Can we get an amen for that? Will that work? I'd say yeah. That's what I'm going to go with. There's other options, but it was supposed to be beachy, but I mean it's a cast fisherman's paradise down at the beach down there, and just because, you know, it's all good. Whether you're a field 2 person, field 3 person, field 5 person, Lord knows what goes on at field 4. I mean, they're hiding aliens or something there. Who knows? Not illegal aliens. I'm talking about spaceship UFO UFO types. The other ones we know exactly where they are. All right, so let me get to work attaching these, and we'll get right back. All right, so I figured I'd let you see what what I'm doing now is I put a couple of screws, you know, found the center of gravity, and now I'm just going to attach a wire to the back so it will be wall friendly to be hung. Do that. I stapled this piece of garage sale throwaway netting. Staple to the back, and then you, after you staple it, you want to tap it down with a hammer. Make sure it's in there good. So now we've got a nice wire, very firm on there. I'll just crimp that a little bit for no boo-boos. Like that. So we're good. I'm just using an old rag just so I don't disturb this the paint on the lighthouse. So there's our there's our netting, and the last thing I'm going to do before sealing the whole thing is glue this on. So that will sit overnight. So let me put that somewhere right about there, and we might call this done in a couple of more minutes here. So hold on. All right, cool. So I figured I'd show you exactly how I attach these. I use a golf tee. You've seen this in the videos if you've seen a couple. And I put the glue in a line. I guess I could put it there. And I roll it on the golf tee like so. Just like that. Then you can just roll it right back off onto the piece that you're working on, just like this. Roll on, roll off. Paint the fence, something like that. I'll put this right here. Roll it. Gotta roll it, Kev. You can't smear it. Dummy. Alright. So we'll Just get the top here real good. We'll get the hook. Nice and easy. There you go, nice and easy. I'm looking at what I'm doing, not at the camera, so I have no idea what you guys are seeing, but that's okay. So that's where it's going. And I will weight that down just a little bit with something, just to get it going. Get it started the right way. And we'll show you, we'll do the finishing touches after it's dry. Alrighty then, we are now done. It's been clear coated. It's protected and ready to go. On the back, I did add a happy little crab in there. Why not? But yeah, that's a wrap. Thanks for coming and watching this video, making it all the way through, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much. If you want to subscribe, that would be great. Little thumbs up is cool too, but hey, be good. Enjoy the coming weather.